Hey everyone, how you doing? Morning, good night, wherever you are in the world. I've been up for, I guess, over 2 hours and change. Watched everything so far, and currently the 1500 meters for women are on track right now. The Great Faith Kipyegon there in Heat 4 of 4. Times don't matter here. You just want to finish in the top 6, and you automatically get through. Green card there from the official. But yeah, I hope you guys are having a splendid day wherever you are. And we'll get into some of the interesting events so far for the day. The 100 meters for women already on track, all the principles there, getting through comfortably. We can run through some of those results. I was watching that early on the track today. We also saw the opening rounds of the men's 3,000 meter steeplechase. Decent performance there, Albacale as usual. And yeah, if there is a shocker for the morning before we get into some of these results, as the 1500 meters are on track and the 100 meters heats for men are coming up in around 8 minutes or so, if we had to kind of single out a major disappointment for the day, it had to be from Yappuccino, because Yappuccino was on my medal prediction podium. I had her winning a medal at these World Championships behind Tara Davis Woodall and Malika Mihambo. And Yappuccino, she did not qualify for the long jump. She didn't come out of qualification, and that is a shocking performance. If ever there's one, look at that. I'm trying to find her name. I think she finished somewhere all the way down in 15. Larissa Yappuccino. High hopes, high expectation. The Diamond League winner. A woman that would have probably jumped 7 meters here and have all three women at some point going over 7 meters for that on the medal podium. And she's not here. She failed to make it through, and it's a shocking thing. The last jump was not good by any stretch. And when you look at that, you're like, problematic. Davis Woodall was one and done. You had to like it. Mihambo had to go through on a small queue. Standards are high. It required 675 to qualify, or the next 12 best places. Claire Bryant too, also going into her final jump, struggling, but the indoor champ made it look easy in the end. Well, relatively easy in terms of moving from way down right into the qualifying positions there. So that's the biggest shocker for me of the morning. Hopefully everybody's doing well. I know it's really early at different parts of the world. Obviously, if you're on this side of the world, it would be super tough at the moment. But yeah, let me know how you're doing. I will kind of talk through some stuff, and a lot of people are probably looking forward to the men's 100 meters that's coming up here. Faith Kipyegon here now leading. Final bell, Laura Moore there, Healy, Zanani as well. It's a comfortable run. No incident so far. I'm not even really concerned about the times or anything. It's kind of, you don't really see high quality times at this stage, especially when we have now moved past the time requirement. It's just automatic qualifier by position, which is kind of good for the distance runners, because usually what would mean that you would have an unfair advantage for some, especially if you're in like an earlier round. So Faith Kipyegon just taking a look on the camera. Then now she's checking left to right. Everybody's getting into the top 6 position there, and no one is trying to run past Faith. She's not allowing that. Qualifies 4:02:56, the flash time there for the greatest 1500 meter runner we've ever seen. If you want to say that's a comfortable run, It's less than this is like she just rolled out of bed, pops out of 402. Madeline there from France, 402.66. Healy from Ireland, 402.67. Times, as we mentioned, it doesn't really matter here. I can get up some of the results in a second here. It should be we should have it. I've been like not liking the what's been going on with World Athletics and their new system for showing results. It's been a bit rocky for my liking. That they haven't updated yet for the final heat. It's already up on television, but it hasn't come through on the screen. But I'll just show Heat 3 if that's up. That the results from Heat 3. Freeway Halo look comfortable. Nikki Hiltz also a Joria, Stafford there, and Gilmore. All of them qualifying along with O'Sullivan. So that was an easy run as well. Chip Chirche also looked comfortable. As Lyndon Hall, I think in the first heat, Jessica Hall looked really smooth for me as well. No surprises there. These athletes are just going through the paces. They recognize that if you're in the top 6, and still waiting on the results for Heat 4 there, but I can confirm that Faith Kipiegan has comfortably gone through. Yeah. She looks really, really easy. Yeah, there's a shot there of Oblique Seville getting his bib on in preparation for the men's 100 meters. And speaking of 100 meters, let's talk a little bit about the 100 meters today. Really, really good opening round there in the 100 meters. No real incident. If I had to think about an athlete that looked less than impressive today, it would have been Kayla White, if I'm being honest with you. But she made it through, so it's not a situation that we would I don't think they'll worry about it unless she's carrying something. She had to do a little bit of work there in the end, but let me try to get those results up and we can talk about it. I thought Fraser Price looked decent, didn't have an explosive start as usual. I think the start is gone in the ways we would recognize, but in the end I thought she looked comfortable too. Marie Jose Tolu, who most people would have anticipated would have been the favorite in that heat, looked quite comfortable as well. Julian Alfred, I thought Sharika Jackson looked decent coming out of the blocks. Left behind there was Shakari, but Shakari motored her way back, had to work a bit to get into the top 3, and she did eventually getting the win. Jefferson Wooden also had to do a little bit early work there at the start with Zoe Hobbs, and comfortable. Julian Alfred, really nice. Tina Clayton. So I'm not seeing nothing that would say out of the ordinary from some of the athletes that you want to think who would are vying for the medals. Yeah. What's going on, Wendigo? Who do you think looked the best? It's hard to say. I think Alfred looked good. I also thought Melissa Jefferson looked good. Those two are the standouts for sure. From what I saw this morning when I was watching it, I'll put up the results. All in the game, people were falling over themselves with Shakara and 1103. Wasn't impressed at all. I don't. You look at Shakara's face today, and she had to work for that. She got left behind, which is not necessarily unusual, but this is not a Shakari that I think is in medal contention shape. I don't see it right now. We'll have to wait for the semifinals. Jackson was much more impressive than I thought, but even then, it wasn't the kind of Jackson that would separate. It's not a 10-6 Jackson that we've seen before. That's clear. I don't think anybody's anticipating that either. I liked what I saw from Tina Clayton too. She looked really comfortable in her running. But outside of that, it's really hard to make stuff of that. Carylus here look like he's about to go down the runway. I shot Mondo Duplantis as well. So the qualifying run for pole vault is there. I'll get the results up in a second. I'll get through some of your comments here. Eric is saying Shelley have been running gingerly. Did a bit better in her heat. Yeah, she got left behind. I don't know if it's because she has not been running the way, but once she got into the running, middle phase looked fairly okay to me. Looked decent. Her face looked like an athlete that was relaxing. Didn't strike me as she was overexerting, but I don't know, right? I don't know what people's hopes for Shirley Fraser Price is this season. I hope she gets into the final. I think that if she gets into the final, that would be an outstanding performance. It's gonna be a little bit difficult, but we'll see. Kayla White, I'm not sure what happened there. Her shape was all over the place. Hand swinging to the right and left. I think her eyes were closed. I have to look at it again. Didn't look like the Kayla White we saw at the U.S. National Championships. A lot of work there. Amy Hunt had to chase down in an end to. Didn't get a good face of the race there. Daryl Nita, okay. I'm just trying to remember what I saw. Morning to you, Kimani. Hopefully you guys are doing well. You know, it's the hardcore track and field people that's up. Yeah, for some reason I was saying to myself, I'm not getting up early. I just watch that stuff on replay, and without any alarm, I was up before it was time for the 3,000 meters. So I just, whatever, started to watch. Eric says it looks Juju took the prize. Let us wait and see. Yeah, Alfred looked good. Very good, but I'm not sure we would anticipate. I don't think there's anything that we would have learned from an Alfred or Jefferson Wooden, because it's just motions for them right now. They're going through the motions. Yeah, all in the game. Daryl Nita look good. She's overdue at 10-8. Kayla White was subpar. Tina looked good. Yeah, I agree on all of that. I like what I saw from Daryl Nita too. Yeah. Kimani Shelley hasn't practiced her start at her start all season. But she hasn't run a lot, right? She's also not as, when you look at her physique, she looks a little bit less toned than before. I don't know. I shouldn't be critiquing Shelly Fraser Price. She's there. She's pretty top class athlete. She's, I just know the expectations are always high when you see Shelly, but we have to be we have to temper those expectations sometimes. Kimani said, I was impressed by Anita. I like what I saw from Daryl. Daryl is having an interesting season. She would not have enjoyed what happened at the British Championships. As many of you recall, she was disqualified in the 100 meters. And I think that put a little bit of a fire in under her. Yeah. Dean Asher Smith looked okay too. Yeah, nothing out of the nothing special, but I think all these athletes going through would find some comfort in their performances, something to work on, something to feel comfortable about. I think if you are like taking a look and you see Melissa, you look and you see Juju, you're like, and even Tina, you're like, okay, those athletes are here, but all will be figured out tomorrow. Yeah, that's how I would think about it. All in the game is saying Yappuccino so disappointed in the long jump. It is. That's the first thing I mentioned when I got on live there. Larissa Yappuccino, the biggest disappointment of the championship so far, right? Perhaps. Is there did we lose anybody early this morning in the morning session? That was the Americans a couple of Americans not making the shot put, but that was an injury to Peyton Otherdal, so I guess that's fine. Oh, Laura Moore doesn't make it out of the 50. Oh my God, I didn't realize that. I thought she was in a position. My God. Well, that is shocking. Well, men's, I'm a coffee drinker, Kimani, and you don't want to understand my coffee lifestyle. It's you guys might think differently about me after that. But I dabble in the highest quality of beans. If you're if that means you know where some high quality beans. Oh my God. Oblique Seville got left in the blocks. Something really happened there. He has to work really hard, but he's getting back into it. 9.87 from Lolita. Ajay 988, Seville 993. I think Seville didn't react to the blocks at all. What the hell is going on here? Top boy price, how's the Jamaican ladies looking? Uh, Clayton looks spectacular. She looks like an athlete that's ready. What the hell is going on here? Seville he's not happy. He had to work. This is almost like, well, it's not quite the same when Usain Bolt stumbled, but let's see what happened. Everybody went out. Maybe he didn't hear the gun. What the hell happened? I don't think Seville wanted to have to work like that to get back into it. He had to move. I'll get to the comments in a second there, guys. I'm trying to understand what happened to Oblique Seville. It's clear he probably didn't hear the gun. He was the last to react, and Oblique Seville is one of the best starters in the world. Look at that. He was like all the way down there, had to work. But where these South African guys are finding these times so early? Outrageous stuff. Let me get back to the comments. Good morning to you, Dell. Yeah, I'll put up those results in a second too. This disappointing by Laura more there. Yeah, yeah. If you're sending me coffee, let me know. I'm joking though. You don't have to send me coffee. Yeah. Back to that point. Top boy price. Fraser Price looked okay in the second phase of the race for me until the end. The start wasn't there. She got left behind. She hasn't been starting well. I'm not quite sure what's the case there. Maybe the legs doesn't have that explosiveness at this age. It's possible. Yeah. South Africa are coming. All in the game just said that. Eric says Seville got left in the blocks. He certainly did. Excuse me. Kendrick's there just clearing 570. Yeah, Eric is like dead last. Yeah. I don't think he heard anything. Or something was something went awry there. That's not an Oblique Seville that you know. And he had to do a little bit of work to get back into it. But fortunately he qualified. Yeah. All right, come on. Yeah. Yeah. Right now the races are gonna start soon. There's Kishane Thompson's on track right now. Yeah. Kishane Thompson's on track. He's in the blocks right now, doing a little kind of check-in right now. I'll just put up a quick results here from the. What is this? It's not what I want to put up. That was women's 100 meters. I'm just gonna do a quick on the men before we get to the. Okay, I got it now. I'm working by myself right now, so the reaction time for Seville is 0.286. But Ajay also was behind there, so something went interesting there. GIF went out at 1.35. But 987 PB for Gift. A lot of people have been saying, watch out for Gift. Last night, Ferdinand on the live was saying that. But we know he has talent, but I didn't think he would just come and drop a 987 in the heats. All right, so the guy from Maldives there on screen right now. Heat number 2 is about to be run. Christina says she still has Seville winning. Eric says, good wake up call for Bleak. Look, you have to take these things here. All in the game says, I think Seville is still in the blocks. Yeah, that's I'd love. I'm hoping that there is an interview with somebody that we can get a sense of what happened there. Eric says he fell asleep. Dell 2.86. What happened? The reaction time. Yeah, I don't know. Dell says take that off, and he's running 983. I mean, he's in great shape as far as we know. Yeah, you don't want to be left behind in the blocks in a semifinal like that, but we'll see. Kishane Thompson just being introduced. Longa from Colombia, Mori from Japan. Then there's Larson and Saeed from, I think that's the Maldives. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I'm just gonna watch this in a second. Then we can recap the women's stuff again. We can go through the results. There's a woman in the crowd there with a big Shilling Fraser Price shirt. Thompson looks lean. I like it. He's a big guy, but he is. But from when he started earlier this season to now, he looks much leaner. Or that's maybe it's an optical illusion for me. You guys can tell me, but yeah. There's a little bit of a jerk there from the Japanese athlete, but Kishane Thompson really out of the blocks, way ahead of everybody into his running, and he stopped running. He's taking a check left, right, 9.95, as easy as you like, into a 0.1 win. He's ahead of the Canadian athlete, 10.19, Longa 10.21. That's a guy that looks like he's saying that all the gold medals go through him right now. If you wanted to make a statement run, this is how you do it. This is the kind of statement runs you'd have seen from the likes of a Maurice Green in an earlier round, clearly Usain Bolt, all the big guys. Executed well. There's not much there. No one beside him. He's like 3-4 meter lead. He's overstriding there, takes the hand off, stop moving the arms, and he's just like bouncing. Now Lyles coming up next. I'll get to your comments in a second there, guys. I think my production crew is in the house, so I can now focus a little bit on the comments while we get some results. Thank you, everybody, for coming through. How many of you have been up since 5 a.m. if you're on East Coast time or whatever? Or I don't know where you are. I guess if you're in like the Caribbean, it might be. If you're in Jamaica, it's an hour earlier, right? Eric says Kishane looks good, but still rocking. I don't think he'll get away from the rocking. That's his style. There's not much I can make out of this. It's like he came out. It was an easy run for him. We'll get a better sense in the semifinal, but I don't think it's gonna be. I think he'll be fine. We'll have to wait to see. I'm not worried about the rocking, to be honest with you, at this stage. Wendigo says, I wonder if the extra work Seville had to do will count against him, given his issues with the reported buildup of metabolites when he runs. I don't know. I think he should be fine. He's not running again until tomorrow. And he's running in the evening session tomorrow. So there's enough time to get a little rest and relaxation, whatever massage, whatever protocol they're doing. I think he should be fine there. Yeah, but we could go back again to the. Let me just check to see if they've officially put the results up. As I mentioned, guys, I'm not happy with World Athletics. It is up. I can get that on the screen really quickly. In the meantime, so that's the official times there for the second heat. Kishane Thompson from Jamaica ahead of the Canadian Ajibi, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, and Longo from Colombia. So those three automatically through to the semifinal, and then they'll get another 3 fastest time. So on the bubble right now, you have Larson and Hansen, Benitez. Let me check heat number 1. Actually, it's not them. It would be the Great Britain athlete here on a PB on a 10 flat as well. Heat number 3 coming up. That's going to feature Noah Lyles, Akeem Blake, Terrence Jones, a guy that I have a lot of time for with a lot of talent. Hopefully he can at some point get back to his very best. Only 10-08 this season. Yeah. So that's coming up in a second here, featuring the defending champion, Noah Lyles. No, I get what you're saying on the efficiency of the run. I just don't know if they. I imagine there's a number of things they want to sort out. That might be secondary to the to the relaxation phase for me, but we can discuss that. Yeah. Paulette says, "How you doing, Paulette? I guess he was sleeping, but he will be good." Yeah, I don't know if he was sleeping in the blocks. I would love to hear if anybody knows the if they've heard any interviews. I've not been checking yet. Maybe he will explain what happened. It almost seemed to me as a guy that didn't hear the blocks, right? Like maybe the mic of maybe it was a malfunction on the mic in the blocks. Who knows? Not the mic, rather the speaker. I apologize. All in the game is saying European athletes do a far better job with their result sites for all the Euro competitions, especially with great spurts from the relays. No, I am 100% on you with this. I think what World Athletics is doing right now is absolute shocking. You can't even get live results the right way. And I don't know what Seiko is doing. Like, how come you can't have this? It's the analysis stuff is just outrageous. Let's watch this race and I'll come back to that point. I'm most intrigued to see what Lyles does in the first part of this race. That's the most important thing that I would be watching for a returning Noah Lyles, who it's a good start. Left in the blocks a little bit there, Noah Lyles. Akeem Blake going well, but Noah Lyles now powering front. He's gonna win this by a country mile. 9.95 for Noah Lyles. Into a minus 1.1 win. That's probably his best performance when you consider the win. He did that 990. I don't remember what the conditions were in that 990 there. But 995 for Lyles. Akeem Blake's 10.07. Jones 10.16. Those through automatically through. Noah looks decent. More than decent there. We've been saying that all in the game. We'll get to that in a second too. We've been talking about that. All in the game. Akeem's last 40 need works. A lot of work. When we look, if we started to start, I was looking at a couple of the races on the Diamond League circuit, and you look at the graph. I don't have the numbers right now. I should have written it down, but you could see as soon as he gets a top end speed, he's not maintaining at all. He's like drastically losing, decelerating. No, he's pumping though. He's working harder. I think he's working harder than he probably needed to. But he got out fairly well. I think if you're Lance, you would not be that upset with this start. I'd like to see the angle from a side again. Because for now, he'll never have the start where he's going to be ahead of everybody else. He's not going to get an oblique start at Thompson and Akeem Blake. But what he wants to be is very within one or a couple steps of most of these guys. So once he got into his running, the legs are going high. He's probably overdoing it slightly too. I think he looked at Kishane and he wanted to make a statement too. There's some mental gymnastics that happen here when it comes to track and field, akin to boxing, I think, especially for the sprinters. But there's a shot here of a bunch of Jamaicans. They look like they're on the same tour. They're all rocking the same shirt. Ah. Hold on. I was just trying to get what Lewis was saying here. He said he spoke to Oblique Seville, and Oblique Seville said he had some personal issues. That's why his reaction time was slow. And he didn't elaborate on what these personal issues was. Yeah. I don't know what I'm not quite sure what those issues might be, to be honest with you. Now we're saying that his body is he needed to push this one so he could wake his body up. So 995 for Lyles. It's into a headwind, right? I think I saw that. Right? Where's the wind now on these things? Oh my, Noah just had parting words. Noah just said, Lewis just asked Noah about Oblique Seville start. And he's like, I knew this was going to happen. That man was panicking in the back. I hope he gets it back because he's a gamer. That's that's not the direct. Maybe I muddled the quote a little bit there. But Noah is shouting, is saying stuff, some wild stuff too early here. What's going on? Yeah, he said personal issues. That's what Lewis Johnson said, personal issues. But I don't know what that meant, you know? We got to get back to that in a second. The next race is on the track. I'm seeing Kung Fu Kenny at the moment right now. But I gotta get back to yeah, all in the game is saying mind games. He's like that man is panicking in the back. Oh my god. Mind games is wild. I want to see what Kung Fu Kenny can do here. Azu's also in the race. Blake Azu this year, indoor 60 champ. You know, new father is probably not getting a lot of sleep, but he should be fine here. The Blake guy, I'm wondering what he can do too. He's also a standout for from Canada this year. Who knows? Maybe these Canadian guys could surprise as usual in their 4x1 relay. Yeah. Is there any? I asked the question earlier. Is there a bigger shock for the championship so far than losing this morning or the day one, if you want to think about it, than losing Yapocino in the long jump? I'm trying to think. Did we lose anybody? I mean, I know we lost Otherdal for injury, right? In the shot put, but it's not clear to me that Yapocino was injured. Anyway, Eric is saying Lyles start most impressive. All in the game, I've done something here I missed. Bahamas have two great talents in Jones and McCoy. Hope they can deliver. I agree. Yeah. All in the game also saying Yapocino is the biggest shock so far. Nevada. Oh wow, Lyles said that he was panicking. Yeah, he said that man was panicking in the back. He's like, I knew that was gonna happen. Yeah, it's all mind games for sure. Kung Fu Kenny didn't get a good start, but he's now motoring. Azu too. Blake got left in the blocks, but Kenny looks good. He gets it at the end. It's not the best execution there from Kenny. He looks a bit stiff to me. He hasn't been looking the kind of smooth Kenny we saw at the start of the season, especially on those Grand Slam track events. But he got the job done. 10:01. Blake came through in the end there. Had to do a little bit of work. 10:05 ahead of Team GB's athlete Azu 10:10. Busan there also 10:15, a PB for him. I haven't seen much of him this season. If I can't recall seeing him much. Busan there. Let's see. Kenny got left in the blocks again too. Blake looked horrible as well. I don't know what's going on there. Yeah, poor mechanics. Let's see what Kung Fu here. Maybe Kenny was just running within himself. Maybe I'm a bit critical there, but slightly stiff for me, at least coming out. But he takes a check and he's comfortable. Yeah, better than I thought. Maybe it's an optical illusion from me. All right, let's see where I am here. Eric says South Africa trying to upset this thing. Well, those guys this morning it was fantastic there. PB, Ajay as well. Look at Ryan Krauser there. Looks like he's in the bus. Can he do something? He did a one throw today. Got it. You got a couple minutes to do your predictions if you haven't on the World Athletics site. Let's see. Eric says Kishan looks what? Better at this point, you're saying? Okay. Yeah. All right, let's put up if my production guy can put up the results of the earlier today of the 100 meters for women. We can probably walk through a couple of those as well. I thought that, yeah, I watched all of them. MJW looked very good. It looked like she didn't break a sweat for me. Zoe Hobbs as well. Pretty comfortable run from both of them to get through there. I like Tina Clayton was running well within herself. Dean Asher Smith did some work. Saboda had to do a little bit of work too, but nothing to that It's not, I like what I saw from the face of Tina Clayton too, in terms of just like a level of relaxation there, and she was pretty smooth for me. So it's hard to really make any claims there, but she still looks like one of those athletes that definitely can get on the podium. Nothing has changed. I don't think anything has, and we have added anything to say that she can move up the podium so far when you look at the other two. But we'll wait. We'll have to wait to see. There, yeah, Heat 3. I thought Sharika Jackson got out really good. I'm surprised by how well she got out. In the end, she somewhat backed off in that race. Shakara Richardson there, 11:03, eventually winning. I listened to her interview with with Lewis afterwards, and she mentioned there's a lot they still have to work on. Clearly, the start. And she's more talking about she's had a transformational season on and off the track. I don't know if this is redemption. I think she worked hard to get back into that race, so it would take a lot still, but it's Shakari. All right, race on the track. Let's see the Toboga on the track right now. So we'll get back to talking through some of that in a second. All in the game is saying Toby Amerson viral video is an example of Nigeria's incompetence that led to Favor Fila going to Turkey. Did I miss this? I totally missed this all in the game. What did I miss on this? I feel like I'm not up on whenever the viral stuff is going on. I'm not seeing what's going on. I gotta get back on that. Andre de Grasse is in the race too. Braithwaite there from BVI, British Virgin Islands. Cardoza, Lindsay, Asmati, Pepra, Tobago, and I guess that's Sikobu, if I'm pronouncing that right. I can't put that up. Stay curious. Come on. Eric says the unusual fast starts have Lyles winded. You think he's tired? I don't know. Let's see what we get from Let's see the interesting athlete here. I did finally watch a documentary. It took me a couple of days before I got to it, but it was a good documentary. I think All in the Game had mentioned it on a live, and that's when I remembered I didn't see. I saw when I had gotten the notification for it, but I just didn't have a chance to watch it. I think I watched it a couple of days ago. I mean, when you look at, I mean, even look at that track in Botswana where the grass is coming out of the track. I was like, what's going on here? And then you realize when the conditions sometimes aren't the best. It's a clean start. Lindsay looks good. Let's see, is popped up. He's not running particularly hard, but now he's getting into his running and he shuts that down. Comfortable run there from Let's see. Nonchalant at best is the word. 10.07. Andre de Grasse, the guy who always finds a way at major championships, most of the time, a couple times maybe not, but 10.16 there, ahead of Courtney Lindsay. I thought Lindsay came out okay, but the middle phase didn't look so good. I have to see it again. But let's see Toboga in the outer lane. Just looked like he just got up, And I'm like, I'm just gonna do a quick run here. Didn't really have a dry face to me. He's not even pumping. His legs aren't really moving. But that's Let's see for you. But yeah, it's definitely comfortable. His face, the lips, the gels of the face. He takes a check. Light work, baby. That's probably the phrase. Yeah, let me see what happened to Lindsay there. He's struggling. Good run there from Grasse on the inside too. Yeah. All in the game says comfortable by Tobago 10.07 into a minus 1.2 win. Yeah. So Ludwig there just cleared. Is that 570? Yeah. In the men's qualification for the pole vault. Gotta get a quick update on that too. I'm not sure where we are on that. So in group, it's like a bunch of guys on 570 already. A bunch, yeah. Duplantis is over. He hasn't gone. He's passed. He and Corrales passed at 570. It looks like. Let me see what Kung Fu Kenny is saying. Uh, Kenny said he was bored, so he's happy to get the running going. Full circle for him. He said he was fine with the race. He thought the execution was okay. Well, he has no complaints, but I guess he has to look at it again. In the end, he looked good. Zarnell Hughes right there. Yeah. Let's see. Stay Curious says, let's see, he look good. He did. Excited for the 200 meters. Kenny's voice crack gets me. LOL. I don't know. Yeah, let's see what we get from McCallum there. He looks extra muscular right here, like he's been in the gym the whole time. I think we know that one, Eric. The Grasse medal. The Grasse will do well to get into the final. Yeah. Will Fabry choke again in the shot put final? I was wondering about that. Olympic champion from 2021, Marcel Jacobs on screen. A man that's basically always injured. Yeah, back to that. I don't know. I think I put him back in my predictions to get on the podium. Uh, just because I'm hoping that he just can't be consistently choking at this level. Stay curious. Imagine Jacobs doesn't make it. Doesn't make it. I mean, you wouldn't be shocked. I mean, he's been struggling with injury for a period of time. So I wouldn't be shocked, to be honest with you. I mean, last year Jacobs finally came back, but he has been injured here and there. I saw Fred Curley saying that he thinks Simbini will medal. Hi, Sonny. How are you doing? How's it going? Track for all. What's going on? Good day, watch party. I'm late to the live, but Seville is ready to run low mid 7 if he gets out around 0.13. What do you think? Yeah, I think Seville, something went wrong there. I was hoping that, as I was mentioning earlier, I don't know if this came across wherever you are. I'm not sure where you're located, Track for all. But Lewis Johnson from NBC Sports was talking to Oblique Seville, not on a video. He just had a conversation when he was walking through to the call room, and he asked him what happened, and he said he just had some personal issues. Yeah, I saw Fred on what's his name. I saw it on the internet last night. Or it was on Twitter or something like that, and he was talking to, is it Anson Henry or what? Some former athlete, I can't recall. And I think he had the two Jamaicans on the podium, and Akani, and I was like, okay, that's interesting. I would love to see Akani do something really spectacular, but he has not. We have to wait and see. He started the season well, but also rightly took off some time to train again and come back. So the South Africans so far have been flying. Maybe he might be flying as well. Yeah. So the shot put going through there. That's Tommy Walsh, I think, in the sector. I missed the throw. Let's see it on replay here. That's close to 22 meters, maybe 21.8. I don't know. Let's see when the measurement comes up. Well, not quite. 21.58 there for Tom Walsh. Pipri has a 21.05 from his first throw. I kind of saw that in the angle of my eye too, so I didn't get a chance to look at Pipri's throw properly. Ryan Krause has a shot put in his hand. Did a one and done earlier today. Oblique Seville firewood. This is what Lewis Johnson said. I did not see Oblique actually tell Lewis Johnson this, but Lewis Johnson was on NBC. He does the athlete interviews as they walk through, and he asked him what happened about the start. He said he would be okay, but he also said he had some personal issues. I'm not sure what that means. He didn't, and Lewis said he didn't elaborate either. Ryan Krause, ooh, that's probably about 21.5 too. Yeah. Sorry I shouted at you guys. Yeah. It's not a bad throw from the big guy there. Krause just needs one big one, Yeah, so a 21.41 there. I think Fabry comes up next. I guess the results are ahead of that because I'm not seeing it. I should put up another stream, I think. Stay Curious says 0.28 reaction times the slowest I've seen. Seville needs a sports psychologist. Yeah. I don't know what happened there. When you look at it, and I need to see the race again. I only saw it like on the replay. It looked more like maybe he didn't hear the gun, but no, it's probably not the case if he says he has some personal issues. Ferdinand, what's going on? GIF, man, he's giving South Africa some massive runs there. That was a big performance from him, also from the Nigerian athlete Ajayi, to running a PB. Yeah. Ferdinand says he's also happy for Oblique and Thompson. Kenneth is asking, was Oblique cramping up? No, he didn't. He didn't show any signs of that. He got out. He got into his running at some point. So clean start there. We got a call back. Someone false started. And I'm wondering if it's McCollum. It's hard to know though. So this has Zarnell Hughes. It has McCollum. Let's see. Lane 5. It is McCollum. So my eyes weren't deceiving me. It's 0.0999. I hate this. This is like my videos that I've been doing. He's gonna be disqualified on he did. I think he just did 0.999. 0.0999. He's gone. He's gone. That's 1,000 of a second there. He's gone. There's no way he's coming back from that. And I keep saying this. The reaction time of 0.1 or 100 milliseconds is garbage. Absolute garbage. And we know World Athletics knows this. They've done a study from way back in 2009 with Finnish athletes who weren't even as elite as these guys, and people can react to up to at least 0.8. I know you need a threshold. You have to have a threshold, but you could lower the threshold to 0.85 or something like that, or point. He's gone. If they give him a reprieve on this, I'll be shocked. Red card. Let's see. I'm surprised they haven't disqualified anyone yet. Let's see what they're coming around with. Green. Interesting. I'm shocked there's a green card on this. Maybe they determined that someone may have. Maybe the athlete beside him did some movement, but it's a green card. So lucky for him. Lucky for him. Yeah, thanks everybody for saying that. Green all in the game. Stay curious, green, dynamic green. Stay curious. 0.99 is basically legal. It's way too close. Tamar sweating so much. Yeah, right now I bet he's gonna sit in the blocks. He has to sit in the blocks. So now we got a clean start. Tamar's look at that Nigerian athlete just went away. I know Zarnel has to get into his running to catch him. He won't. Marcel Jacobs didn't. He made it through, I think. Okan there from Nigeria, 10:04. Hughes had to get into his running. Oh my, something's wrong with Tamar right there. He's cramping up, it seems like. He can't get up. I think he's having some issues in the left calf right now. This also, as we know, might be a problem for a number of athletes. Look at this idiot here of a cameraman running to get a picture when the guy's cramping up. Yeah, he needs help. McCollum there is struggling. I think he's act. I looks. I'm reading his lips. He looks like he's asking for water. The wheelchair's coming out, but he doesn't want to get the wheelchair, so he's gonna get assistance. He is having some tightness in the calf. It seems like, which could be a hydration issue. I was chatting with Tim Adams there earlier. He's in Tokyo right now, and I was asking him how it feels, because you see the temperature on one end, but he's also saying it's okay, humidity over 80%. So it's not terrible, but it's not the greatest, I think, if you're like distance runners or so. You just gotta be hydrated. This Nigerian guy just went out there. All right, let me get back to these comments here. Let me see which mix. Track for All says that's crazy. I've seen them turn over. I've never seen them turn over 0.09. I have not either, because this happened to Julian, that happened to Devon Allen, that happened to who else? A bunch of athletes we can think about. Beatrice Chebet there. Look at this Kenyan lineup right there. Could they do a sweep? I'm not quite sure, because good Upsa guys in the mix. All in the game. Tamar is bye-bye anyway. Yeah, we can put the results back up. I was like focusing on other things there. Ferdinand says, yeah, so let's get back to Heat before. So it's 10:25 for him. Yeah, he's not, I don't think that's gonna make it, right? Stake here. Let me get back to Ferdinand. In NCAA, athletes only start with electronic I guess even starting blocks in finals. So they're not used to it. I actually mentioned him not to false start, but I'm happy for him. Yeah. I remember Justin Gatlin some years ago was talking to these collegiate guys, and because apparently sometimes in the collegiate system, the athletes will try to pick the start. I don't know how true this is. There's no systematic study on this, unless it's just people saying that stuff. So I don't know. But if you try to do that, or not, maybe they don't necessarily pick. Sometimes if you move on a pressure sensor blocks, moving your feet will get you into trouble either. So there's some things you get away when you're not in one of those kind of starting blocks. But you have to think, though, no one prepares you for the type of starting blocks. They prepare you to run by reacting fast and not to move and so on. So I don't know if that's really an issue, but that's an interesting point. Stay curious. Tamars is injured. Kenneth, what's your thoughts on Knighton's first offense? To get 2 years, he can appeal a decision also of the Oxford. So yeah, last night we spoke about it. I also saw a response from his team, which basically said that it's because WADA is in conflict with USADA in the United States, why they appealed the decision to clear rather Knighton. And it's a fact that meat in the United States gets a lot of hormones or something like that. I don't know. I think it's over, right? I don't think he can win on this, because he was cleared, and AIU and World Athletics went to court for arbitration for sport. So he can go to the Swiss court on this, or only Swiss athletes can go to the Swiss court? I have to check again. Okay, final event there. Ankiana Simbini got left in the blocks at the Chinese athlete working his way there, but Simbini back into it, and he comfortably qualifies at 10:03. Looks like into a still win. Also, Samino there ahead of Amalniala. I do like. I really love that we're seeing a preponderance of African athletes here in the sprints. It's doing me joy. Look at it. When you look around the ranks, you start to see a lot more of them. That can be only be good for the sport. I hope it inspires a generation there. You got the Ghanaian athletes there too. Uh, yeah, I want to see the replay rather. Yeah, so I don't know, Kenneth. To be honest with you, what's gonna happen there? There's two big overturn. Well, obviously, Aaron didn't qualify for the U.S. Championships here for the World Championships, but Amalian is struggling there as well. He, I mean, he's jerking a lot. I'm not sure if it has a thigh issue. It looks like a thigh issue. They're focusing on Simbi. I don't like that the left hand is going too high to his chin there, but that's something they could iron out. Amaniano looked decent once he got into his running, but there's nothing there after that. He's not maintaining any speed. Once he gets into top end, he's done. Okay, yeah. So yeah, as you know, two clearances got overturned from AIU. Welteje, Deribi Welteje was a clear favorite for a medal in the 1500 meters, and she's not here either. She'll get a chance to fight that, but it's interesting. I just saw a shot of Femke Bowl there. All in the game. Nigeria not having a single relay team in Tokyo with the likes of Ajayi, Okan, Ududu, etc. is criminal. It certainly is. What did they run before? They had a 30. They were in the rankings earlier, right? Yeah. Yeah, I have to go check again. Yeah. Stay curious as the NCAA Tamars came back. Yeah, but he got a reprieve and then he didn't do what he needed to do. And it looks like he's hurt. Clearly he's hurt. He was like being stretchered off or assisted off rather, not stretchered off. Sonia is asking, do you know if the alternative athletes are in Tokyo? You mean the para athletes? I'm not sure. Jared is asking for free places to watch. I guess I don't know. Dynamics is on the case anyway. He's saying BBC One. I don't know. Maybe some Canadian stuff too. You gotta get a free trial of Peacock, Jared. You're asking for. I am not seeing any splits right now. Ferdinand is saying yes to Simbini. I think is Peacock giving out free trial? I'm not quite sure. Maybe you can try or just subscribe for 1 month of Peacock. I think it's like $7 or something like that. Morning, everyone. Good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. Hopefully, you guys are doing really well. Just to do a quick summary so far, we had the men's 100 meters there. Heat 7 there was won by a guy that we have a lot of time for on this channel, Akani Simbini. Look at this. Beatrice Chebet with a look at her face like, let's get the running on. Energetic right beside her there. Yada from Japan, they're in the same thing. Their test phase there. This is going to be good. You know, women's 10,000 meters. This is going to be fabulous running here. I see Cranny. Obviously, there's Chepengetich there. Where is Goodaf, though? Ryan there from Australia. Tei there from Ethiopia. These Ethiopians are going to running packs. Oh, there's no Goodaf. There's Gerbesema. And it is Batacleti, who also is interesting. Oh, there's Goodaf. I was like, where's Goodaf? I was getting shocked there. I forgot. Yeah. She's there. Okay. Normal services resume. Yeah. I'll get back to the comments in a second. All right, let me get to some comments. So the waterfall start there for the 10,000 meters. It's going to take a while, but it's going to be calculated, tactical. So while we'll get back to that, let me get to some comments there. Sonia is asking, Megan is injured. Do you know if another athlete is there to take her place? I think there is. I have to get some more information. Let me do a little work on that, and I can get back to you there, Sonia. Might be a little bit later on. Jared asks, do you remember what I told you yesterday about Melissa? 10-5 is coming. We'll be there to see it. I mean, if it happens, it happens, right? Jared says Melissa's first round reminded me of Prime Bolt. I mean, she looked good. I don't know if it's a Prime Bolt look. I think that comparison's kind of a wild one to make, but Melissa Jefferson looked good. Juju looked good. Clayton looked good. Darnita looked good. Yeah, there's a number of athletes that we talked about this morning that look good. Yeah. Yeah. I'm also going live tonight, guys, as well for the evening session. So we haven't put that out yet, but I'll get that up in a second for the morning session rather for tomorrow, not even. Yeah. Yeah. Let me get back to some of this now. Eric says, I'm convinced, and I'll get you some timings in a second for the pace here. I'm really upset. I've been saying this, and I don't want to sound like a broken record, but we're not getting the live statistics that you need to really have a good sense of what's going on, especially in these distance races. World Athletics need to get a grip here. If this was the Diamond League or Euro Championships or anywhere else, you'd be getting better live statistics that you could judge what's going on. But I think that's Engetic there in the lead. Chibet is somewhere there. I think the Japanese runner there is making a move. I don't know. Let's see. It's like 23 laps left. They're gone 2 minutes 40 and change after crossing there. I don't know. I suspect the pace would be anywhere. I don't know what pace this is, but 71 to 73, especially in the heat here. Maybe it could be 75 laps for at least for the first 20 or so. That would be my guess if back of the hand calculation there. I don't know once we get into some more of that, and maybe if they show some splits, I can have a better sense. It's hard to do this math without seeing the splits here, but maybe 74, 75. They'll try to take it easy until, yeah. By the time we get around lap 20, it should get exciting in terms of what's going on, right? Yeah. I'll wait to see once we get to like, the last 16, and we'll see if they can start moving in anywhere like under 4 minutes. So not under 4 minutes, that would be wild, but maybe 4 and change, and yeah. All right, back to this. Eric says, I'm not convinced they need to change the threshold, but using video to back it up is a good policy. So yeah, so part of what World Athletics, when you saw that study some years ago, was to lower the threshold. The recommendation for the false start, at least for the reaction time false start, was to lower the threshold to be between 80 to 85 milliseconds. Take your pick, right? 85, it seems reasonable. If you want to go on the higher side, you could even do 90, right? Another part of what they were trying to do is to use high-speed cameras to measure body movement. So similar to how you have the high-speed cameras that do photo finish. That's much more expensive. The processing time on that has to improve, I suspect, with high-level computing now, some machine learning techniques and so on. You could probably process that video in a much quicker time because you have a longer time to process a photo finish markup. But if you're going to use like high-speed cameras at the start to measure body movement, you have to be able to issue a recall gun before athletes are already done racing, right? So Hironaka in the lead here, ahead of Enjetic and Batlekeki right now, but they're running in a line, so there's not much of a separation or a different in distance right now. Yeah, so still early days. I get back to your comments. Tamar says, not Tamar. Eric says Tamar's was nervous. His uniform was shaking. Yeah, it's a big stage. People often forget how big a stage this is. This is not, you run in college, you run in your high school, you run in different places. Obviously, that prepares you for different levels. But when you get to the stages, you're running with the big people, right? The people who've been here. Maybe you're in the call room and you look to your left, you look to the right, you see Olympic champion, you see people running times that you had to work hard to run. It can be intimidating. And as far as I think they've sold out the stadium for the evening session. It's a packed crowd. I think they have like 57,000 people sold out. It's not quite full, but I think they said they sold whatever capacity they were willing to sell. The original BI Strong says Seville, oh Lord. Yeah, interesting. I don't know if there's any other update on Oblique Seville in terms of him speaking. The only thing I had was from Lewis Johnson, where he said there was some Seville conveyed to Lewis that he had some personal issues. Did not elaborate on that. So if we can get some more updates on that. And it wouldn't be Noah Lyles if it wasn't Noah Lyles when he said he knew that boy would panic. That was his quote. Mind games all day. Ferdinand says my prediction would be Beatrice, Batacletti, and Goodaf. I think I have that for my prediction too, but I think I have the Italian coming third in my prediction, but who knows? Dell says those 9.79 and 9.8 for the US not going to be replicated. Interesting. I know you've been harping on some of these things differently. Kayla White didn't do so. Some people were worried about the Kayla White thing. We can talk more about that if we want. Eric says Kishane won the first round along with the South African athlete. Yeah, he looked good. Gift, yeah, smooth as you like. I like the Nigerian guy too. I thought both of them look really good in that heat. We'll see. Track for all. Who do you have for the mixed relay medalists? Interesting. I definitely think the goal goes between usually the US and the Netherlands. Femke Bol is there. we'll see what happens there. We'll have to be. I have to wait and I don't know. Like it's one of those things. I look again to see if the line. Well, I look at the lineup because the lineup might be interesting in terms of how they're doing it. I haven't checked since we got on air, to be honest with you. Dynamic says women's semifinal start list is out. We'll ask the we'll get that on the screen in a second. Eric says water should be mad. Decades of announcement by the US went unchecked. Kimani, he has an interview on Citius magazine. He sounds to me as if he's gaming. Who is? Oblique? Explain. Yeah, give me some details. All in the game is saying he's going with Chebet, Sagai, and Enjetic. That could work too because I like her a lot. I think she is a top class athlete, but she's running the pace right now for Beatrice. Eric says Simbini and company are done. I don't know if I understand what you mean there. I do like South Africa's chances, as we've been saying in the 4x1 relay. Even with Walaza injured, these guys are in really, really good shape. Poyoyo Simba says Tiboga looks smooth though. He did. He looks like Letsili. The Letsili we know is an athlete that runs a bit nonchalant in the opening rounds, almost as if he's like, I'm not worried to be here. Yeah. Yeah, stay curious. Are the personal issues, Brian? I don't. Come on. On a serious note, I would rather seen the interview with Seville and Lewis instead of just hearing the aftermath. Yeah, but sometimes they don't want to talk, so he may have just like forced the interview out, yeah. And sometimes, if you understand the call room, I don't know who has first go. Sometimes the athletes may go straight to the Jamaica TV first, and then have to work their way back. But usually at these major championships, NBC is the first up, or at least one or two. So guy doesn't look happy there. She was like complaining to the Australian athlete. It seems like maybe she was cutting in on her. Yeah. Beatrice Chebet now is starting to push the pace a little bit. The original BI Strong is saying, is it possible Shelly can make it out of her semi? Let's get the semifinals up here. Woo, woo, woo. Ha. Oh my. Alfred, Fraser Price. Who else is in it? Let me get Amy Hunt, Saboda, Zoe Hobbs. It is possible. It is possible. Julian is gonna walk that. I mean, TT Terry isn't the TT Terry that we know she could be. I mean, that doesn't mean she won't run well. But look at what happened in Nakak too. Look at it's an inconsistent season. That might be the way to describe it. Amy Hunt, she was coming. Amy Hunt has the ability to. If you're in the semifinal and you're Shelley and Fraser Price, you gotta like your chances. Let me know, guys, but I think you have to like your chances. All right, let me get a next heat. Let's see. Let's run through the heats there. Talu, Daryl, Nita, Shakar, Sharika. Oh, that is fire right there. That is trouble right there. Huh. That is trouble right there. Kayla White, Sharika Jackson, Somebody isn't going to the final. Somebody is not going to the final. That is not the semifinal you want to be in. Let's see the third one too. And then the final has Tina Clayton, Jefferson Wooden. Those two, I think, start clear favorites. You have Asha Smith that looked decent. Dasso looked decent today too in terms of her form. Beatrice Chebet in the lead right now. 14 laps to go, 13:36. So it's Chebet, Enjetich, Sagai, and Tesfaye right now. Those are the three athletes there. Ahead, there's a pack Baclacletti too, I think is there too. Yeah, some separations are about to start now. This is where the women start to separate stuff from the rest. Yeah, that's interesting there. Whew. All right, we'll get back to that. We can get the mix 4x4 lineup in a second if we can, in terms of who the athletes are running. We'll put that out in a second. Dynamics. Sabit, how are you doing? He said, Let's see. He says he's been reading the predictions and has has something for those that doubted him. Hey, that's how you want athletes to respond, right? When we out here saying stuff, you come with it, you know. Dynamics says Femke and Clarva are running. We anticipated that for sure. Yeah. Ferdinand says Leander ran a 44.14 leg. Isaac opened with a 44.98. Just our last leg was slow. We can medal. No, I think South Africa can be there. I think they'll. I don't know if I think they'll be on the podium. I think South Africa could be, based on what I saw earlier. Well, last night. Well, in the morning here for Japan, but yeah. The original BI Strong say, I'm saying it's possible. I think you're referring to Sharika, not Sharika, to Fraser Price there. Stay Curious says, no way Shikari gets top two, but she might make it in. There's no time to make it in Stay Curious. It's top three. It's 9-lane finals. So it's just the top three that go through. The original BI Strong, I wasn't asking. I know. I was just kind of thinking through it there too. Yeah. All in the Game says Zoe Hobbs could sneak third. Very possible. Wendigo says Shelley and Fraser Price can definitely make it out of this group. Objectivity greetings. Semifinal one is hot. Dynamics says Shelley and Fraser Price should make the final based on that lineup. TT, Hobbs, or Hunt would need to run a season best to beat Fraser Price. Why are these guys going on a break during the middle of the 10,000 meters? I need to check the calculations in a second here. Are they not running with the times? There's no. Okay, so split time so far, it seems like let's see what the split time so far. It's hard to read. I'm sorry guys. I can't look at it right now. All in the Game is saying Talu, Daryl, and Sharika. Dina has to get third in that semi. Objectivity says Dasa was all out. Don't expect much from her. Mixed 4x4 is not an option in the predictor game. Interesting. I didn't see it last night because I did my predictions the other night. Yeah. Sherry says it's a real pity that the world only includes certain countries. Maybe you gotta elaborate on that a little bit more, Sherry. Ferdinand says, remember 9 goes straight to the final. Yeah, so it's no timing here. Yeah, I know I'm behind on some of these comments here. It's not. I thought it was the top 3 that went through. Am I wrong on this? Maybe I'm wrong on this. Mm. It is. You're right. I thought they were going straight top 3 on this. I guess I was wrong. So it's the first 2. Oh, because it has to be the top 3 that goes through. Like, isn't that how they're doing it on a 9 lane? Now that you're making me think uh that I'm confused. All in the game sense, definitely top 3 from each semi go through. Yeah, because a 9 lane, it's 9 lane finals. Yeah. Original saying it's 8 to the finals. The rules are on the site. What do you mean? I guess you mean CIT. Yeah, I just looked at it and it says first 2 qualifiable, 2 fastest, but I don't. As far as I know, it's supposed to be a 9 lane final, so it shouldn't be. Didn't World Athletics change it this year? It's saying top 2, but that doesn't strike me as it's right. Yeah, but it's saying that on the on the website for sure, but it shouldn't be. Let's get an update on the men's shot put right now. I'm seeing Trip Prippery here in 5th position, 21-20. He's on his 3rd attempt. That's closer to 22 meters. How is Krause leading? What's that? 21.99 for Ryan Krause. So Ryan Krause, a guy that we haven't seen all season. Man, he's messing up my predictions here. But I should know better. So 10,000 meters pushing through. We're at, I don't see apparently the last lap they're saying is 77.9. I'm not even following it. So that's much slower than I'm saying because I think they would want to be going around like 74, even 75, 76 with this kind of heat. But there's a bunch of athletes together here that you anticipate should be pushing for it. So there's Tei, Engetic, Chibet, Baklaketi, Segai, Tesfe. All of these athletes are just doing. I think they're just waiting for a big kick in terms of where we are in the. So we have another 7 laps before this is over. I imagine that at some point they'll start picking up the speed here and going around. But I don't know if they're tired though. Yeah, that's an interesting thing. Where are we now in the comments? I get to All in the game saying, I've got that top 3 in, but shot put, but Fabry third. Ferdinand says, yes, all in the game. Goodoff must run the last 1K with 1500 pace to wind up, but Chebet is fit. Boo, I don't know. Possibly, I mean, like a 4 minute, you think? These guys, they're crawling right now. Apparently, this last lap is 81. They're not moving at all. So this is extremely slow. You don't want to be in that mix. Goodoff is a bit behind in that core group there. There's going to be a sprint for this. Yeah. Yeah, this is clearly a tactical race right now. The question is, when do you make this move? And Jet is still there, holding the place. Baklacleti, Chebet, Tei, and Goodoff Sagai. That's the pack right there. The medals are coming from those women. It's like 5 women there. This has gone to an absolute crawl. So we're looking at 5, 318. Kimani says this is the 10,000 is exciting. Oblique has run as an interview on YouTube. What is it saying? Can someone tell me? I thought the 9 lane was just in case there was a tie. No, it's supposed to be 9 lanes this year, but I don't know what's going on, why their website is saying that. All in the game says Google Track alerts 9 lane world championship. So we're getting close now. This is a 1 mile left now. The speed has to start moving right now. So Energetics there in slightly ahead of Baklacleti, Chebet, Tei, and Goodoff Sagai. I think Sagai is playing coy here because you don't want to go too hard on Beatrice. We've seen that 350 from Goodoff this year, that crazy run. And I think it's a training run to set her up for the kind of kicks you're going to need here. So we're moving right now into the end of this, yeah. BI Strong says Google says one thing, typical track and field, and the official site says another thing, I guess. Yeah. All right, I'm just watching this thing right now. Sorry if I'm not paying much attention. So the pace is dropping now, 77, I think, or 73 rather on that last lap, according to this guy, because I'm not following it properly on this website here. It's not showing me the splits I need. All right, it's gonna move now. People getting a lap. Goodoff has decided to make a move. Chibet is coming now. This is gonna go wild. And Jetic there too, Baklacleti. We're getting up now to the end of this. The push is there. I think Sagai shouldn't have gone yet, but she's not liking it. 2 laps to go. This is not. Imagine these women getting lapped on elite level track and field. It's just crazy. So Sagai is starting to push. Beatrice is coming. There's a bit of grimace on Goodoff's face, but that's usually usual, I think. But Beatrice looks comfortable as well. She's doing a check behind her. I wonder if she went too hard. There's no distance there. They're still right beside each other. Beatrice looks most relaxed of all. The Italian is still there and Jetic is still there. We're going to the bell now. This is going to be a cracker. Okay, guys, this is going to be a big move. Right now we are 29 and change, 29:30. So this is going to be it's going to be a sprint for it. I think when we get to the 200 meters is where this is going to happen. They're still hanging together unless Beatrice Chibet starts to do something. Goodoff is trying to pick the pace, but she should try to hold us comfortable and see if she can outkick her. I'm not sure if she can. Can we get a less than 30 seconds on this final 200 meters? They're pushing. All of these women are still here. And Beatrice Chibet has finally had enough. She's had enough and she's gone. The Italian is coming too and she's moving. So, but Beatrice Chibet is gone. And Goodoff is sprinting away. Goodoff will get on the podium because I don't think Enjetic can. But Beatrice Chibet will win the 10,000 meters with about 10 meters of a lead. Baklaclet is second. Goodoff Sagai for bronze. Enjetic fourth place. You just can't outkick Beatrice Chibet. You just can't. But Goodoff. Yeah, that's an interesting way to get back on the podium. Last year was a disappointment for her. I don't think she would have been happy to lose to Baklacleti. But the Italian shows up once more. National record for her, 30, 38, 23. Chibet 30, 37, 61. Season best for Sagai. Yeah, I actually think, in retrospect, I thought what Goodoff did made sense because to push the boundaries and then get run out of it would have been worse, and it's better to just get onto the podium. Robert is saying Baklacleti look comfortable. She does. She was trying to go with Beatrice, but you can't outkick Beatrice. It's just not gonna happen. But also, all in the game is saying like Sagai has no business losing to Nadia. Lost silver medal because she tried to take on Chibet. Yeah. I thought she just kind of waited a little bit more. Maybe should have more in the kick, but this is the tactical nature of this distance running. There's no pacing, there's nothing. You have to do everything yourself. And Goodoff should do better than this too. I agree on that. But anyway, Dynamics says the men's semi-start list is out. We'll put that up in a second once we finish there. Chibet has this according to All in the Game. I missed that earlier. Objectivity is responding to average row. If Sha'Carri gets a good start, big if, she gets a medal. Interesting, I'm not sure. All in the Game out said, here we go. Thoughts on Sha'Carri running a season best today? Average row is asking. I don't know what to make of it. the first phase of the race was very poor, so she had to do some fair amount of work to get back into it. She did do that. She got back into the race. She eventually won it. But at that point, you had to think not Fraser Price, Sharika Jackson was in shutdown mode. She herself looked okay. I wouldn't take anything from the Sharika Jackson run and feel comfortable either. Yeah, I've not changed my mind yet. The medals are going through Alfred, Melissa Jefferson Wooden, and I think Tina Clinton. I think that's where it is right now. Nothing has really changed. When the semifinals come up, we'll have a better sense. All right, if we can get the start list for the men's on screen in a second there, we can kind of walk through that too together. Yeah. Thanks everybody for liking. And I really appreciate people hanging around, all the comments as usual. This is one of the things that makes the channel really great, that we can watch along. I know some people want to see it, and I can't show it. That's not how we roll, but hopefully you're watching it, and there's a space for us to kind of talk in real time. We'll get a lot of things wrong in real time, but this is how it works. But this track and field community here has been really good to me. I know there's a lot of people who get up and watch track and field or watch it and no one else to talk to. And if you're one of those people, this is always a space for you. And we'll come back and do a proper reaction when we can as well. But for sure, watch alongs are always brilliant. Well done, Chibet, according to Ferdinand. Let's take a look at this is the 4x4 mixed relay start list here. Let's do that real quickly. I can't see it. So Italy's in lane 2, Japan, South Africa's they're running with a fairly same team. Is it the same team? Did any changes happen from the first run? I'm not quite sure. Let's see the US team. Bryce Deadman, Herbie Jackson, McIver, Alexis Holmes. It's the same team. Team GB. Here again. The Netherlands now has Femke Bol, Lika Klava on the second leg. Yeah, this should be good. Yeah. Poland could also surprise, but I'm going to go with South Africa. So I'm going to go with the US. Alexis Holmes on the last leg. Femke Bol. It depends on the positioning here. I think Bryce Deadman has a lot of work to do. Herbie Jackson needs to run really well. This is going to be a cracker. It's going to be a cracker. I think I may think the Netherlands could pick this. Depends on the spacing. I think it's going to be Netherlands with US or US Netherlands and maybe South Africa. I'm going with South Africa. I'm going to change my mind now. I see some people put in comments. I think All in the Game has GB. Initially, I think in my predictions, I had Team GB earlier or Poland, but now it's different. Let's see what Tom Walsh does here in a shot put. Ooh, that's right on the 22-meter line. That's right on the 22-meter line there for Tom Walsh. It might be slightly below, but it did hit the 22-meter line. He did do a big one there. 21.94 for Tom Walsh there. Puts him into third position. Fabry's in second. And Ryan Krause has 22.34. They don't call him man the GOAT for nothing. I apologize, Ryan Krause. I don't know what I was thinking. I don't know what food I was eating. But how do we bet against Ryan Krause? I'm now going to see this 22.34 mark. This is a guy that's been injured all season. That's a big throw. Look at that. This guy is unbelievable. He is unbelievable. I feel like you got to wake up and dream about Ryan Krause if you're a shot putter every night. Nightmare. And the whole season he's not throwing. And then he just shows up and pops a big one. This is a massive throw. 22-34. Good luck with that, everybody. All my prediction game got busted there. Let's get back to some going. Stay curious is saying Poland could win it. They could too. Architecture on the final leg. I had them medaling in one of my early predictions, but I don't know. Netherlands, USA, South Africa for Ferdinand. Kimani said he saw Britton Wilson in the call room. I wouldn't be. I don't think you're wrong. Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, that doesn't mean she's running though. Yeah. Sekura says after that round, it went back to Noah versus Kishane for me. Someone said Oblique gave an interview on YouTube. Can anybody give me a sense of if they watched that? I don't know. Let me. I'll put somebody else on that to see. Yeah. Let's see here. Munoz. Oh my God. Where did this guy come from? Munoz just dropped the shot put on the 22-meter line. I think it's on the 22-meter line. It might be just short, but he just dropped it on the 22-meter line. Yeah, so Megan's hamstring is gone, I think. Megan Tapper, that is. 21.97 for Munoz. That pushed him into the second place position. Tommy Walsh out of the medal, who's we have to see. Thanks, Sonia. Sonia says he said it would be different for him in the semi and that he's okay. Oh, you went on. Thank you. Yeah, because I just got the interview. I just had no time to listen to it. So Dynamics 416 says regarding Ryan Krauser. To quote Hall of Fame NBA coach Rudy Tomjanovich, Rudy used to be at what? It was the Houston Rockets, right? Never underestimate the heart of a champion. Man, Ryan Krauser, different class. Absolutely different class. Oh, Fabry there couldn't get it up to 22 meters. Ooh, men's shot put here, closing out, guys. So Ryan Krauser wins the goal. Munio Silva. How many people saw that coming? And Fabry finally gets on a podium, so he doesn't choke anymore. Ryan Krauser, man. This dude is like clutch. Mr. Clutch finds a way. It's gut wrenching, you have to believe, if you're the other athletes, that Ryan Krauser, a man you haven't seen all season, and he comes and he defends his title. A man that we started to wonder how much longer will he stay in the sport because the injuries seem to be piling up. He had to do surgery a couple years ago or a year ago. He's always having these type of challenges. Seems like he wants to get into the business of the sport. launched that shot put series last year. Well, this year rather, at the Drake Relays. He did himself compete. Did he compete? No. I'm trying to remember now. But he finds a way. He is absolute clutch. Sonia says Ryan Clauser the GOAT at shot put. He is. It doesn't matter what you do or what kind of stage he's in. And this is the greatness about Ryan. And when you get these generational athletes, and we have to recognize them, that sometimes when you're just so much better than the competition, whatever, they're good. All in the game. Had Closer first, Fabry third. My picks. Munoz from nowhere. Man, I did I put even Closer there? So I'm getting like a script from the Oblique Seville thing interview rather, and he says he had he said it was a shaky start, but things are working perfectly in his favor. He knows what to do when recovering from the back. He says he's confident, in good shape, and not worried. Yeah, which is slightly different in there from what he would have said to Lewis Johnson from NBC, who didn't necessarily give any information either. Track for all says Britain not running. No, I don't think she was ever gonna run. Right? It's Herbie Jackson there. Alex's. Maybe she was there just to warm up, right? As in case something went wrong. Yeah. All in the game says this is the encomium here for him. The superlatives. Krause has won every outdoor global goal from 21 to 25. Up to Mondo, Fate, and El Bakali to do the same. Yeah, El Bakali could be, he's on a tier right now if he were to do that. Fate Kipiegan in 15 if she did that too. And of course, Mondo Duplantis. Those are elite level stuff. Elite level. This is what you call total domination. Total domination. Sonia is saying the athlete that ran 987 in heat, I think he gave his all. Not sure he can lower that. You mean the South African athlete? That was an interesting run there from GIF. There's a lot of upside for him. Ferdinand can speak more. He sees him more often, but other people have been saying that he's a super talented athlete. Yeah, I'm not sure. He runs a personal best in the opening run of a 100-meter. Probably don't want to do that, but sometimes you can't help it in the sense that if you're super fast, you're coming, you get the legs going. Sometimes it happens. Now, when you do that, you want to at least replicate that when it matters, which means you certainly want to get into the final, and you certainly want to make sure when you get to the final, you run as close as your best, but we'll see. All right, so the mixed final now on the track. They're introducing the athletes right now. Davy Newham there, I think just saw Jurgen too from Great Britain. Alexis Holmes, McKeever, Herbie Jackson, and Bryce Deadman. You want Deadman to start off with something special if they can. So there's like Isaac there, Nekubi, the South African team here. Good going for them too. The Japanese they are into the final at the expense of Kenya, who initially crossed the finish line in an African record after South Africa had that African record in the first heat, but they had a lane violation and were disqualified, which allowed Japan to get into the final. Italy is also here. Let's see what we get. All in the game is saying Kenya ran so well. They certainly did run well and didn't make it. It's unfortunate, but it's one of those things. Yeah. So yeah, this is the last race on the track for this evening, and then we can probably briefly chat about the 100 meters in a second, like the semifinal for men after this is done. We get out of here, and we'll be back. Ferdinand says, I warn people Giff is South Africa's champion. He beat Walaza 3 times this year. No, I've seen him a couple of times myself. He looks good. Yeah, gotta like him. Appreciate everybody subscribing. Don't forget to like, subscribe. Definitely hit the notification bell, especially if you want to know when we come live. How you get those notifications might vary. You often get them in the YouTube app. You get them in email sometimes. It depends on the kind of privileges that you give YouTube. And yeah. All right. So Deadman already making up the stagger right now. But we have to wait and see. You have to run all of that lanes first. It looks like the US might be in the lead. Italy's there too. Hard to make sense of it right now. Poland running good too. Belgium there. I think Deadman might handle first. It looks like the US ahead of South Africa or somewhere there from my vantage point. Herbie Jackson there right onto the South African athlete. They're cutting over now, as you know, 3-turn stagger. Longer staggers, obviously, in a 4x4. And so Herbie Jackson now going ahead of the South African athlete. She's going to try and open up there. I think that's Lika Klaver there, not making up enough ground, but she needs to start pushing if she's going to ensure that she does well. Bukaweke there from Poland too. Look at that. The US has about a 10-meter, 15-meter lead here. It looks like they're opening up there with Herbie Jackson. The Netherlands and Poland hands off in front of Netherlands and South Africa. The Dutch are gone, it looks like. I don't know if they're going to make it up here. Team GB now working their way back into this. So that lead from Herbie Jackson's been narrowing somewhat, but we'll see if McIver has a good kick at the end. Ugh, this is going to be a challenge. I don't think Femke can claw this lead back. The US should walk this right now. This is a massive lead. There's no way you can run on Alexis Holmes from that. If that were to happen, it would be the biggest shock of the night. The US are moving. They're probably on world record pace now, it looks like. They can't be caught here. Alexis Holmes now really comfortable. Femke Bol now just hanging out with the Polish athlete and the Belgian athlete. Team GB right behind her. There's not much she can do. There's no way she can catch her. That's impossible to go. Into the home straight now. Femke is now starting to open up, but the US are going to win this. The Dutch second. It looks like Belgium is going to run in for the bronze. Is that Belgium? Or Great Britain? It is Belgium. Championship record there for the United States, 308.80. The Netherlands, 309.96. There's just too much work for Femke to do. And Belgium, 310.16. Who saw that coming? Robert says it's a gimmicks race. Belgium, look at that. The Polish athlete must be disappointed not to have held on there. $43.91 from Akiva there on that third leg. Herbie Jackson running at 49.18. That was spectacular. What did Lika Klava do? 49.59. It wasn't as bad as I thought. But the difference was massive. There was like a 44.98 from that Bryce, 44.59. The original BI Strong says America was never going to lose that. No, there's no way. I like what Femke did. She probably, once she got that baton, she was like, there's nothing I can do but just take my time and just make sure. It's really comfortable running there. The Team GB guy there was doing a good run, but Jurgen didn't have enough there. She couldn't hold on. This wasn't a competition, guys. This was a blowout. Dynamic says Netherlands lost it on the third leg. That's where the gap opened up. Yeah. Look at that. That's a proper dip there by the Belgian athlete. That's the difference between a medal around your neck or fourth place. Yeah, all in the game, same thing. That was you want to teach a dip, that's how you dip. That's textbook right there. Cut that up, show it to the kids. The dip is important, but it's the timing of it, right? So championship pressure for the United States, 308.80. The night ends with victory for the United States. Double gold medal there. Ryan Krause, gold medal in the shot put, the GOAT, the absolute greatest we've ever seen. An entire stranglehold on all major titles for a protracted period of time. Yes, US here coming back with good redemption, winning this. And not only winning it comfortably. A great way to start off their championships. Yeah. Ferdinand says, well done, the United States. All in the game, 49-1 to 49-5 is nowhere near as bad as 43-9 to 44-75. Yeah. No, it's true. I was just looking at it. That's where it happened, right? 43-9, 44-75. The Dutch were sleeping there. I don't know what happened. Who was on the third leg? Was it Pfeffers or whatever his name is or something like that? On third for Netherlands, yeah. 44-76. And you got a guy running 43.91. That's opening you up there. That's a massive amount of difference there. Yeah, there's nothing you can combat there. Femke anchored on a 50.06. There's nothing she could have done. Nobody could have caught anybody there. Yeah, it's impossible. Yeah. El Hadi says, or Haji, USA, 100%. Yeah, the youngster Jonas on third leg. Yeah. Chuck for all says, I think it's better that the men run against the men and the women run against the women on that relay. No, I think so. It makes sense. It makes sense. There are some people who like that original formulation where you could just like put any athlete, right? And you could see a lead just get disappeared easily. But I don't know. I've come to like the mixed 4x4. What I don't like, they've not unveiled it here, but it will be coming, is the mixed 4x1. We saw that too in the World Relays earlier this year in China, which didn't go as badly as I thought it would have. My biggest issue with a mixed 4x1 is that you anticipate that baton exchanges won't happen the way you want. But I would get rid of the mixed 4x1. I wouldn't even implement that. And I would just go to a medley. I would go to a relay where you can include a 800-meter runner, even up to 15 if you wanted to. It could be that classic medley that they run in Jamaica or some kind of other medley, right? Even run a 4x8 could work. I'm not sure if people want to see that long, but you could do some incremental stuff that makes it more exciting, offer some more opportunities for athletes to pick up some medals, or even for countries who may not necessarily be able to collect medals the way they may have a good 800 runner or 15 runner, but they probably can't medal. But if they made a team that could do something, that's how I would look at it. Yeah. Kimani says Ball realized early that the gap was too big. All in the Game is responding and says, "Yup, didn't risk it. You don't want, yeah, there's nothing to fight for there. If it was closer, had she had like a 5 meter difference between her and Alexis, then she could try. Outside of that, you don't want to do it." Looking at Mondo here, trying to clear, what is that? I don't know what. He passed at 570, so that's probably 575 there on first time. Yeah. Dynamic says, I think it's over for Clava. She regressed the past 2 seasons compared to 2023. Yeah, I don't know where her future lies. I believe she had some kind of a minor injury. Someone would have to check on this. I think she had I don't know if it was calf or some kind of tenderness in the Achilles, but I have to check again. Yeah. The original BI Strong says the original format was interesting, but this format is better. No, it's much more refined in this format. The other one looks more chaotic to me. Yeah, so I prefer this. All in the Game don't have Clava in the women's 400 final. Neither do I. I think that's a tough thing to make. Yeah. Average Joe is like, nah, 4x8 would be boring and US would win all anyways. I 1/2/4/8 would be good. No, I think that could be an interesting thing. Yeah, or you could do yeah, you could do like a 4 2 2s, and an 8. That would be an interesting leg too. Uh, Jackson made a difference for the USA. Irby Jackson ran really well too, but also that McIver guy did a really good run too. All in the Game is saying lots of countries are deep in the 800, not just the US. Very true, very true. The Kenyans are deep. The Botswanans are getting much deep now. All that. If we're doing this as a mix too, if it's mixed, it would be much more interesting. Yeah. You inspired us kids along with Morris Green and Frankie French. Just thank. Yeah. I don't know who's that, but yeah, appreciate all the people coming through. Dynamics responding to All in the Game. She didn't make the final in Paris. Ran terrible strategy in Budapest 2023 too. Yeah, I think I think she's fine, but I don't think she's coming back the way we anticipate. Yeah. All in the Game says a 2-2-4-8 mix medley or a mix 4x8. Yeah, I think that would make sense. If they're bringing in more relays, I just don't. Well, they are bringing in more relays, and I don't think the 4x1 will be an exciting relay. I understand why they're doing it because they're thinking about it from a relays can sell. The sprint relays are certainly an interesting thing. It's not that long. It's just 400 meters you got to cover. So it should move along much more quickly from a TV standpoint, but it's not necessary. Uh, Saskia says Oblique ran 993 in the heats after a bad reaction time. I'm not comfortable with the over dramatization of a situation that will put unnecessary pressure on the man. I like how you didn't make it a big deal. Yeah, I think he did really well to come back in, right? It was a if you want a hiccup in a championship, the first round you can take it there. Then you get your mind right. I don't know where people. I obviously I've been on here since morning, so I haven't seen anything else. To be honest with you, I Oblique seems as if he's fine. I just saw I read the transcript from the other interview he did. Eh, He has a lot of time to recover. I don't think he even ran particularly hard either. He did have to work a bit more than he probably want. But regardless of how comfortable an athlete runs in a 100-meter race, they still have to work. So you either do the work in the first phase and shut it off, which is what you want to do, get out really well, execute a brilliant start, leave everybody for dead. But in this case, he worked at the end because he got left behind, and he's quick. If to do that, that suggests he's in some great shape, and as long as he gets it right, Uh, as we've been saying, and I stick by this. Tomorrow is the day where I want him to run as comfortable as he can in the semifinal. Not too fast, just run comfortable. Get into that final, get your cooling down, your massage, whatever it is, and come back and just show the world what you're capable of, right? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Uh, Dynamic says, "During we need your live predictions after the semis tomorrow." Yeah, I mean, I'll be around for it. I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure I'm changing my mind yet, but we'll see. I still have, I still have the Jamaicans 1-2 in the 100 for men, and and I have Noah Lyles getting the bronze medal. I also have I have Melissa winning ahead of Julian, and I apologize to Juju obviously, but and Tina Clayton. So we'll see. It can change, but I don't think it will. But it's sport, so I'm here for it. Track for us says 4x8 relay Kenya. If it's mixed, I think it could go in different places for sure. But yeah, it would be cool if it's mix would be fantastic too. Imagine them lining up a team. But I think Botswana would be good too. France would be good. The US would be good. Uh, yeah, Team GB could even pull off a decent one too. A more than decent one. More than decent one. You drop Max Bergen on that. Yeah. Yeah. Robert says mixed relay is like the NBA halftime show. Come on. Yeah. Poyo said if you look at it, everyone on his heat ran fast. Let's see. I'm seeing Noah Lyles here again. I thought Noah executed fairly well. He'll never get a perfect start, but he was still there. But he was motoring though. He was working. He didn't shut it down at all. He did say he wanted to get it out of his system, but we'll see. Agvidjo said, okay, mix would be very competitive, 4x8, but men US would dominate. Imagine Luckton House, Howie, Hopper, Brazer. Yeah, but not all. Yeah, if it, yeah, I don't know. The US is having a great moment right now in 800 meters. Yeah. Can we get the semis up for the 100 meters there? If in a second, and we'll just run through that for the men because we talked about the women already. Simba says Oblique ran a good race. The other two competitors ran hard. Other than his heat, only Noah Lyles and Kishane ran under 10 seconds. I think he's okay. Yeah, I think he's okay too. I'm not worried about it. All right, so this is semifinal for tomorrow. Let me get us off the screen quickly so we can look at this. So semifinal one has Jacobs in lane 2. The Canadian is in 2. Blake. It has Hakeem Blake, Lyles, Simbini, Ajay, Azu. Interesting semifinal there. Yeah. Noah and Akan should start favorites there. Akeem Blake too. I'm not sure. Akeem has to make a final. He needs to make a final. That's a guy that has a lot of potential. Don't know if it's going to happen this year, but he should make a final. That should be his goal. Then he can take stages. Then he can start looking in a different direction. He's young enough still, but finals is what he needs to start making too. Let's get to the second heat. So you got a Colombian there. So it's Thompson, Kung Fu Kenny, Zarnell, Hughes, Blake. Ooh. So you look at this and you say Kishane and Kung Fu Kenny for sure. Yeah. And the third. Got Oblique Seville there. Let's Seal It Tobago, Gift, and Courtney Lindsay too. It's a bit spicy in this heat too. Yeah. Bit spicy. Let me get back to this. Shout out to Lyles for giving us another iconic interview for the ages, including laughing off the mind games today. 3 years ago, everyone will be mad. The way he delivered it was hella funny. All in the game says GB, Australia, Kenya, USA, Italy, Switzerland, Ethiopia, etc. could be all good in a 4x8 for sure. Yeah, Switzerland, yeah. Veru, they have that kid too. What's the dude's name? Yeah, I think that could be in there. Average Joe says, for me, relays lose intrigue over 400-meter distance because there's no risk in the handoffs. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I get what you're saying, but it could work. I mean, there is risk sometimes in terms of like positioning. I was about to say there's always a lot of drama at the pen relays, but those are young athletes too. So most of the time, yeah, most of the time. All right. Yeah. So that's the end of the day. For day one. Tomorrow will be the evening session starts. I mean, this evening, our time. If you're on Eastern Standard Time, we're starting off with the women's marathon. Got to get your predictions in for that. I haven't put in my predictions for the marathon yet. I need to put that in the thing. There's a game going on for many of you don't know. You can play with World Athletics. Men's 1500-meter heats around 8 o'clock. And then we'll start to see opening rounds for the hammer at the same time. We'll have heats for the women's 100-meter hurdle. So I might be around by the time we get to 1500s or so tonight. And as you know, Megan Tapper from Jamaica is injured. She has a hamstring injury. So that's tough for Megan. She had a bumper year this year. But she's still listed. But as far as I've heard, she's still listed on the program, but she picked up a hamstring injury. So I'm not sure what's happening there yet. Yeah. So we'll see heats of the women's 100 meters, the most unpredictable event in all of track and field. And then evening session starts Sunday morning, 5:35 a.m. with men's 400-meter heats. I'm not sure I'm coming on that early. I'll probably be up because when track and field is on, my body wakes up in time to watch it live. It's something I've been training ever since I was a kid. And we'll have high jump qualification. Women's discus throw final starts at 6:12 a.m. That should be interesting. Women's 400 meter heats at 6:25. Semifinals for women's will start at 7:20 a.m. Eastern. I'll be probably back for that around that point, and then we'll run that right through until the end of the day. It's gonna be a bumper day tomorrow for sure. Yeah. Yeah. Average Joe now switch to the EPL. I need to go. Yeah, I'm gonna watch some stuff. Tomorrow is Sunday, is the Manchester Derby. We'll see what happens there. The original BI Strong is giving you a few pounds there. Let me see what Ryan Krause is saying right now. Give me a second. He says it's never fun to open the season at a World Championship. He's happy with how he competed. He says this competition is the first time he's throwing hard since last September. He said the competition was good. He needed the pressure to respond. So anyway, I mean, Krause as usual, very gracious. I mean, usually in wins, yeah. When is the last time Krause lost a major championship? Was when Joe Kovacs beat him in Doha, right? He said he had a compromised joint capsule on the elbow. He was having a lot of fluid leaking out of the elbow, bone spurs, all sort of stuff. And he was saying it's not only about getting back to throwing, but it was about getting a functional elbow for the rest of his life. So he was facing some significant medical issues there, Ryan Krauser. And now he's back as world champion. Yeah. Thanks all in the game. Yeah, so he's preparing for 2028. All right, so this was brilliant, guys. I am gonna call it because I've been watching track since 5 a.m. this morning, or after 5 rather, and we've been on the live. I appreciate everybody coming through. If you have other things to talk about, I'm happy to do it. But if not, we could probably call it because we're gonna come back later. I'm gonna see if I can do a quick live. You never know. I'm working on a couple things. And see, I was trying to talk to Leighton to see if he wanted to do something, but he's busy. He's doing a bunch of he's working for the Observer. He's doing like freelance stuff for the Observer, and he's he's probably doesn't get enough sleep, but we'll see. Yeah. Appreciate it, Dynamics. I get some rest. We'll be back later on, and then tomorrow morning, it's the biggest day of the tour of the World Championships in terms of eyes watching. It may not be the biggest in terms of performances, but certainly the 100 meters carry a level of excitement that no other event in the sport, whether we want to believe it or not, can muster. All right, I'll see you guys later. Have a great day. Bye bye.